Schools are set to reopen tomorrow. We have teacher unions done, have teacher unions done enough to protect their members during the COVID-19 pandemic? I'm joined now by Executive Director of the National Professions Teachers Organization of South Africa, Basil Manuel. Basil, good evening and thank you for your time tonight. 5 teacher unions, 4 SGB associations, satisfied with the progress tentatively. Now, what I find interesting, Basil, is a statement that comes from you that says you heard during the meeting that 94% of the schools are ready, and you accepted that. Without doing your own checks, without doing your own verification, you heard from the department telling you that 94% of the schools are ready, and you accepted that.
No, you're making assumptions. In fact, we have been leading in surveying our members. We've done 3 broad surveys of principals, and then we've done independently, the unions independently, the 3 surveys of principals were done collectively, and independently the unions have done 18 other surveys, where we've surveyed teachers or different groups, SMT groups, etc., to also determine whether there has been development in terms of providing the PPEs, cleaning the schools, providing more safety, putting other measures in place, because it's not just about PPEs. And yes, whilst our figures and the department's figures from their independent grouping do not correlate 100%, they still show the same trajectory, that there's been a major improvement in the supply of PPEs, that there's been a major improvement in the supply of things like water. In fact, today there are 4,000 more schools that have water than have had ever before. For 26 years we couldn't fix it. And because of the position of the unions and the governing body organizations, we've managed to change that trajectory for many, many, many schools for the first time in their lives ever.
Yet still 3 out of 9 provinces are still battling to get that water.
3 out of 9 provinces still have issues. And of course, time will tell how bad those issues are. We were given an undertaking that even today there were connections being done. But, Thabo, we've got to accept that it's not just a one-way stream. And we have resisted every move by the government or the DBE to leave anybody behind. Today we're at a point where we are saying there are still some learners being left behind, but there's a plan in place, and that is what we wanted. A plan how to deal with that, and we don't want this to last more than a week. And of course, we've taken the vast majority with us, which is exactly what we've been fighting for. So have we done well? Yes. Have we won the war? No, because it's a battle only. It's not the war yet. We start the next battle tomorrow.
66 staff members at 55 schools just in the Western Cape tested positive. And yes, we must admit a lot of them are testing positive outside of the return to school. But nonetheless, they are returning to school. And some of the teachers are anxious. There's anxiety around this issue of infection. Are schools doing enough, and are unions holding schools accountable enough to deal with those teachers who are anxious? Imagine an anxious teacher having to deal with kids who are coming into an environment that they are not used to. We are both anxious at this point. Both teacher and student are anxious. It's a recipe for disaster.
Absolutely, and this is one of the big issues that we are fighting, because we believe that whatever provisions are there are woefully inadequate. And we've put it at the feet of the provincial authorities. First of all, that we need a proper psychosocial, number one, assessment and then support structure. Because it doesn't matter what causes the fear. Fear is real. Even if it's based on wrong information, it is still real. But coming into an environment where suddenly you are meeting hundreds and hundreds of people, of course fears are heightened. When somebody gets sick, as a lady said to me on Friday, one of her colleagues tested positive. She thought her hair was falling out. Her skin was crawling. She didn't know what to do. And yet there was absolutely nothing wrong with her. And that is anxiety and fear. Now we've got to do a lot more here. And as a union collective, as NPTOSA as well, we have suggested a number of things. But we also need a lot of action. And we are having a variety of meetings in this coming week, also with outside agencies, the psychological groupings out there, and of course also the counseling groupings, because we need to garner the support of many. Because it's not only about teachers. It is also about the frontline workers, the cleaning staff, the secretarial staff, and then, of course, the children, because the children are coming from home with fears already. Some parents have put the fear of the gods into them, but then they've also lived an experience. We don't know how many children have had the experience of somebody in their home or close by falling ill. So, yes, this is a major one, and it's good you raised it, because we need to be highlighting the urgency for the support, and also to caution our members, principals in the main, that they mustn't aid and abet this anxiety by putting in place work schedules and recovery plans that are unrealistic, starting at 6:30 in the morning, so on.
Now, Basil, before I let you go, I mean, yes, 94% of the schools ready. I think 6 out of 9 in the province now under the low-risk category. That's what we're hearing from the minister. Is this going to be sustainable? It's good enough that they are ready to open tomorrow on the 8th. At the end of the week, are they still going to have enough PPEs? Are they still going to have enough sanitizer? At the end of the month, will they be able to replenish the kids with 2 fresh face masks?
That's exactly what we have warned against, and that's exactly what is even in our statement, that the opening of schools is an event, and being COVID compliant is an event, but now we've got to sustain it. And the sustainability lies in the supply, not only the supply, but the replenishment, but also to look at all the other factors. What happens when the big group of children comes in? So that is a million-dollar question. And I want to tell you that we have serious concerns about the ability to deliver on this. But that is what our job is to monitor, evaluate, and to hold to account the folk that are there. We've said to the minister in these harsh words, Minister, it is on your head that this rests, and we will hold you accountable if this is not delivered. And we've said the same to the MECs as well.